Check. All right, let me. Okay. Hi. On this episode, we clean the van, do some rust prevention, add a little bit more kill mat, go over some of the parts that I ordered, and talk about my social mission in this entire journey. So, are you ready? Let's go. Oh boy, I gotta get better at these intros. I realize that I don't film them. I realize that they're quite hard to plan out what's gonna be in the video because I'm kind of just, if I have a day off or if I have a slow day at work or if I have some time on the weekend or something, I'll just grab the camera, I'll think of where I'm at with the van, and then I'll go deal with that stuff. So if you remember in episode 3, when I was driving across Canada, when I was in Kenora, I was gonna make an announcement. I have some big announcements that I'm trying to figure out how to share, but I'll be doing that. But I had to figure out how I was gonna say it or how I was gonna share it because I didn't quite have everything sorted out. Oh, from Halifax. So here's what we got. So I am waiting on some paint for some of these spots because I'm just gonna paint them so that they don't rust or, things of that nature. So this stuff is really hard to work with in the cold. Today's been around +5 or something, and it's been quite stiff and it's been hard to cut. So just, makes sense because it's very flimsy, and I think it's made of some kind of a rubber kind of a adhesive on the bottom. So anyways, I swept, I cleaned it with some soap and water. I went around with some alcohol spray, and then I started just kind of spraying and wiping it down just so that the adhesive of the kill mat has something really good to stick to. You gotta be careful because you can really cut your fingers working with the edges because this is kind of like a tin foil, so you get these really shitty paper cuts. I learned that doing all these at the top first. Just, fun fact, I guess. But yeah, so we put some down. I might do a little bit more, but I wanted to leave some space first so I can fix up these scratches and make sure it doesn't rust, because the last thing you want to do is this floor to rust, especially because of condensation when you're inside cooking and things like that in the winter. You don't want your floor to fall through, right? So something to consider. That's kind of it for today. It's a very easy day. It's really cold, so I was really eager to get started, and then now my next step is to just start kind of laying down the subfloor. I think we're gonna do subfloor first, just so that once that's laid down, I can have something to stand on and walk through and all that kind of stuff, and we'll go from there. I'm starting to get worried about the roof height. Awkward. So I haven't really done a whole lot in the last week or so that I've been here. 2 weeks. Honestly, I spent most of the time just kind of getting everything ready. Spent a lot of time thinking about what I need, what I am for sure including, and then it's been just a lot of ordering parts and kind of waiting for stuff to come in. So a couple of things have come in, which is gonna allow me to start kind of setting things around here and just getting a good idea of the space. It's one thing to plan it out like in your head, it's another thing to draw it out, and then it's a whole different thing when you like execute this thing to become the van that I want it to become. So honestly, I am a little skeptical with all the things I want to include in here. So today, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna measure out the van again, because I don't know what happened to all my measurements that I had from a while ago. So I went and got some painter's tape, got me a, what do you call these, tape measurers, and we're gonna have some fun. So the good news is we can fit the bike in here, and it looks like I'll still have plenty of headroom for my bed, so that'll be like the top of the bed slash mattress, or maybe, you know, somewhere within this distance. Realistically, what everything's getting built around is this bike. The thing is, when you look down, my goal is to get this, because I think this is the furthest, well actually, these can get turned down, so that's fine, but this is the furthest most point, you know, so I'm trying to get this as close to like here as possible, something like that, you know, because my wheel is pretty much in my kitchen, so this is gonna have to get blocked off, right? And so this area will now start to be my kitchen in here. So what's important to me is to figure out this whole section here. That's what we're on to now. So, let's see. So, check this out. I got the fan out, and by the looks of it, so as you can see, it fits in there, and it fits up there, right? So, the plastic on this is really, flimsy, so, you know, that's what you get. Good morning. So, I have not done much in here still, and that's because I'm still waiting on a lot of parts to come in, but it seems like my kitchen is half here. Today, whatever is here, I'm gonna take out of the boxes. I am gonna come in here and I'm gonna super dry fit. I don't want to get the build going until I have everything. That way when I have everything, I can just like allocate a week or two and just kind of get in here and do a big part of the job. For like pulling wires, I'm only gonna have a couple of electrical outlets, and I'm only gonna have a couple of things out in the front, so realistically there shouldn't be a whole lot of wire to pull. the quickest way to cook is with propane, so that's what I'm going with. That came in yesterday. My water heater came in over the weekend. My safe has come in. A whole bunch of other things. I got some drawer locks, so you push them and they kind of lock into place, which I'll show you in a bit. And a couple of other knickknacks that I'm working with. Oh yeah, we're gonna be doing LED lighting strips across the middle of the van. I think that'll look really cool, like top-down lit, and they are RGB, so you can have some fun. I also think that they kind of pulse to the music, which is really cool. I had to rip out some of this stuff just because I want to get all the wood basically as close to, like, look how thick this is. Oh boy, look at that. What I've learned is that every millimeter, every inch, every piece of space counts, which is why I'm thinking of what to do about this section. Not that I can put anything in here, but it might just help dial in the build a little bit. So let's get opening some boxes and see what's coming. Here's my safe. It's a big one. It is big enough to fit my laptop. The reason why I got it big enough to fit my laptop is because, well, if I go on a hike, I'm not gonna bring my laptop with me. If I don't know, have to just leave my van for a little bit, I wanna be able to put all my valuables, including maybe my drone, including maybe my camera, all the things that are important to me, I want to be able to put them in here. So I got this big enough to basically take care of that. This thing is battery operated. Battery's in here, right? Oh, there's a key in here. Ah. Which we can take out. We've got some kind of a, I'm not going to show you guys where this fits in my van because obviously I'm putting this out there on the internet, so I don't want this to, you know, be out there. Here's the thing is, I think I'm going to return the water heater. The reason why I think I'm going to return it is because it's just a little bit too big. I don't think I need one that big. It's just for me here in the van. It looks a little bit beat up around the sides. I don't know why that is. The box was a little bit cracked when I got it. I don't know if it was dropped, I don't know, but I am going to get rid of it. I'm going to send it back. I'm going to get a smaller unit, which also just plugs in. I don't have to hardwire it, so that helps my case a little bit. I'm not an electrician, so I'm trying to stay away from all the things that I have to hardwire. I will go through the process of building my own electrical system based off of a wiring diagram, based off of YouTube videos and instructions, and then I'm gonna have an electrician check over my work. When I'm building it, I'm gonna build it with the help of a friend. He's an electrical engineer, and I'm probably just gonna give him a call, sit down with him one night, and just run through the system. Some other things that I've gotten, let me show you real quick. So these are those little marine grade little systems, little locking latches units. So I think the way these will work is, you know, this will get mounted onto the drawer, locks the drawer in place, unlocks it, and you can pull it out, right? So Vlad's gonna help me with putting these in. I also got here some of these little buttons. And these will help like turn on the water pump. These maybe will turn on some lights in the van. So the safe does fit. I have it in a pretty cool spot. It doesn't change my layout anything at all. And it'll be pretty much bolted into the floor so you can't steal it. Like I said, I'm not gonna show you guys where it is because that kind of defeats the purpose of having it hidden. But that was one of my concerns of how big a safe can I get, how big a safe can I fit. I think this will be the last kind of part for this week's video. Like I said, I gotta get these parts in, and then once everything is in, I can actually start. So it dawned on me when I was planning my journey initially, like back in Calgary around January, that it's kind of ironic that I'm going to these places that are so remote, that are so natural and so beautiful and untouched. And in doing so, I actually kind of create maybe not the most positive impact on the world. So what I mean by that is, my carbon footprint, driving 40,000 kilometers is a lot. Building the van, the carbon footprint is quite a bit, just, shipping parts and all these things. So I decided that I'm gonna add some social missions to this endeavor, to this expedition. And these social missions, I had to look into and kind of figure out what I could afford, what I can actually, do as of right now, and where I can maybe add a little bit of value. So there's a bit of a three-pronged approach. The first one is that any income that I make from my website, from this adventure, from this thing that I'm doing, I'm donating 1% to the planet. So I'm working with 1% for the planet on this one, and you basically sign up, make an account, donate whatever 1% of your revenue would be, and go from there. So for this year, it's not a lot, just because I'm not really making money from this, but I did do a fair share just so I can do my part. That's one thing. Now, in particular, I don't actually like just giving money to charities. I actually do want to make some kind of an impact, and so that's just kind of what I want to do as a part of my life. I think we can all donate a little bit more to causes we care about. I care about the planet, and so yeah. The second part to that would be all these carbon emissions that I'll be generating, and what am I going to do with that? So I looked into carbon credits. I looked into a couple of different companies, and I decided that I will offset 40,000 kilometers worth of CO2 by purchasing carbon credits. I looked into a couple of companies. I found a couple of different ones. I wrote a blog about it, so you can go check that out. And basically, what I found is that you can just buy carbon credits and you can just offset in that sense, or you can actually buy carbon credits and then that money will go to real causes or real programs or real projects in communities, and your dollar would affect those communities directly. So I found a couple of different companies, but the one that I ended up going with was the Gold Standard. Goldstandard.org is their website. Now they are a Swiss NGO, and they're partnered with a couple of different bigger organizations, and basically they provide you the infrastructure to buy carbon credits, and then that dollar sum that you pay for your credits will go directly to a project. So last night I purchased 15 tons worth of carbon credits. That's 48 something thousand pounds. I know this because I calculated with a different website's calculator. That would kind of be the general emission from the car driving from Calgary to here to Tuktoyaktuk, down to Ushuaia. Now there will be some things in between, so I'll be readdressing this at the end of my trip. I'll see how many kilometers I've driven. I know how many kilometers the van had when I got it, and then I will pay for the difference if I miscalculated, which is totally fine. I don't have a problem with that. Now, the reason why I went with the Gold Standard is because they actually focus on meaningful, sustainable benefits beyond just like the reduction of emissions. They actually focus on putting these funds that they generate, to these actual projects. And my contribution directly, I had to write this down because I had to think it through. So my contribution directly benefits and enables these projects to maintain and expand and deliver more climate sustainable impacts. So I like that. I like that I'm able to basically decide where I want my money to go. So obviously, because I'm heading down south to South America, I was looking for projects that would kind of be on my way down. It would be cool to maybe check them out. It would be cool to maybe see if I can get involved beyond just giving my money away. And so I purchased 5 tons of CO2 credits from 3 different projects. The 3 projects are planting biodiverse forests in Panama to offset deforestation industries. And so this project basically plants native to the land trees and basically reforest the area because of deforestation. And I think that was really cool. I like forests. As a matter of fact, I'm staring at a forest right now. Planting more forests in Panama, that was something that I could get behind, especially because I'm building some of the van out of wood. And so there was some correlation there that I wanted to be a part of. The second one was providing vulnerable families in remote regions of Peru cooking solutions that are better for their health, that are more economical, that are less energy intrusive, or basically use less energy is what the goal is. A lot of these remote places, they don't really have the same infrastructure that we do, and so you're cooking on a stove fire. Maybe you don't really have some kind of a exhausting scenario, and so like where the smoke, like a chimney, like where the smoke goes, or maybe you do, but it's maybe really bad. And so I decided that would be something that would make a real impact in people's lives. And so that's where I bought another 5 tons worth of carbon credits, was to help some of these vulnerable and these remote regions have better cooking solutions, basically. So the third project that I decided to purchase another 5 tons of carbon credits is a project that builds homes in Guatemala. And basically it provides these homes with sanitation, access to clean water, better energy solutions, and again, these cooktops, these stovetops, because you would be surprised at what some living situations are like in some of these places around the world. I remember a lot of this from India and from Saudi, and even from Nicaragua. Just, you see some things, and so we have it pretty easy out here in the Western world, in the Northwestern world, So I decided that these three projects kind of fit with what I'm doing, where I'm going, and I decided to just, help fund a better future for some of these people. It wasn't a whole lot of money. I think all in, I probably spent about $1,000 yesterday. But I also think it's not a lot in the grand scheme of things, of how far money can go in the other parts of the world. So, that was kind of the gist behind it. Was I want to go see these remote places that are really far, and so I kind of felt a little bit guilty, like maybe I have to do something about these emissions that I'm generating, which is something that I've never thought about before, but I think it's kind of cool. So that's the 2 out of the 3 things that I'll be doing as a part of the social mission. The third one, and this is kind of the cool part, I guess they're all really cool, but this is kind of, one that I have a lot of control over, is I'm launching a new series on YouTube called What's Your Story? And the goal of this series is to interview, connect with, chat with, whatever you want to call it. But it's basically connecting with individuals that are making an impact in their community. It doesn't matter to me what impact you're making as long as you're making an impact and a positive one. So I don't have a guideline as to, they have to be environmental impacts or social impacts or whatever. I think any impact is good. I think, trying to do anything that makes a better world, that makes tomorrow, better for somebody else, I think that's super important, and I think we should highlight that. So, What's Your Story is gonna focus on locals or individuals that are making an impact in their community or for a cause or for something that they're passionate about. And I have somebody lined up for the first one. I'm really looking forward to telling her story and what she's up to, and I think it's fascinating. The goal with this series is to basically raise awareness about what these individuals are doing, but it's also to maybe help them raise more funds for their causes that they're passionate about. I would love to be able to build a platform that basically does that has that ability to go and share a story, and if this is something that you can get behind, I can put you in touch, or I can show you the link, or I can show you where to donate or how to get involved. And I think that's super important because I think there's a lot of negative things that are happening in the world, but I think the power of connection of humanity, I think is incredible, and it's something that we often overlook and maybe not think about, but I think we can all do a little bit of a better part to make a better world, pretty much, right? I will tell you more about that. I will figure out this freaking structure for how I'm gonna maybe present these stories. But basically, if you know anybody that is making an impact in their community and they deserve, and you believe that their story deserves to be told, send them my way or let me know and I will reach out. That's how I found this lady, and how I heard about what she's doing was through a friend. So if you know of anybody, let me know. Depending on where I am and when I get there and all these things, because I would like to do the face-to-face thing, so that's basically the only kind of caveat as to when I can share their story. So there's no real outline as to what's required for you to be on What's Your Story, as long as you're creating a positive impact in your community. I think that's pretty much it. So if you know anyone that's interested, just let me know and we can go from there. I've gotten all my Finsulet, I've gotten everything. I will be starting on the van in the next week or two, so probably next video will actually be some real van building. I know I've been really slow at getting this going, but after I got into Halifax, I pretty much took a week to just like decompress. Then 2 weeks of work kind of caught up to me, and so I've spent the last little bit just focused on work and dialing in all that stuff. And now I'm starting to, I've gotten used to Halifax and how freaking cold it is. I've gotten used to, where I can get my parts and how long things take to come in, because holy shit, it's far and remote, and yeah, it's shipping here is kind of a pain in the butt. So thank you for following along. Subscribe, share this with your friend. Again, I want to get this out there because the more people that might see these things might be able to offer some really cool suggestions of people that are making an impact. Maybe they purchase something and then I can take some of that fund and I can allocate it to some of these charities. And yeah, subscribe. Hit the thumbs up if you like it. Make sure you hit that little alert button so that you're notified every time I post a video. You don't miss it. And yeah, thank you so much for following along.
Keep rolling. See you on the next one. Have a great day. Peace.